Welcome to the Satsang. I'll chant for a minute and then we start. Okay? Makandamandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam tatpadam darshidam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha ajnanatimidandasya jnananjanam shalakaya chakshurumilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, you know that the name given to the wisdom teachings of the Vedas, which is the Upanishads, and the Samhita portions, what is the word used? Shruthi. So, what does Shruthi mean? What is Shrotra? Yes. So, what does Shruthi mean? That which is heard. Right? So, when that is heard from person to person, it is different from hearing on the screen or on the audio system from an image. There is a lot of difference. So, it's called Shruti because it's that which is heard and immediately registered as different from that which is read, mulled over, thought over, and then understood. I'm not saying that you shouldn't read, that's fine. But there is always a difference. So, therefore, there are 2 points to make. The person who is saying should be clear, and the person who is listening should listen clearly. When I say listen clearly, it means listen with complete attention to what is being. Then it becomes Shruti. Otherwise, it's merely like something. The difference between hearing and listening. We hear many things, but we don't listen. So it's very important to note these differences. So this is when I talk, it is that which you hear. So give attention. Don't then say, "Oh, in YouTube he said like this." YouTube mar gaya. This is life. So 3 slokas I'm starting with. Don't say I heard in the YouTube, please. This is iTunes. 1. This is an ancient sloka from the Upanishad. It's been chanted all over the world, at least in India, and now of course all over the world, for years. But being unfortunate people who think Sanskrit is useless and there's no need to learn, nobody knows what is being chanted. Chant it every day. This is one of the things I'm trying to do, bring this about. Don't consider Sanskrit to be a denominational language or a language belonging to a particular section. It's an ancient language in which the scriptures were written, in which discussions took place, in which dialogues took place, and the Rishis' teachings came to us. So, the sloka I'm going to refer to, 3 slokas. 1. Before beginning many functions, people chanted Om. We won't discuss the Om now, we'll keep it for some time. Sahana Vavathu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saha Veeryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishabhai. Om Shanti Shanti. Shanti is not included, but everybody chants Shanti at the end. But everybody will be at peace. So what does this mean? First, for today's satsang, we are going to look into this and another mantra and another. Om Sahana Vavathu. Please note, the first 2 lines, Sahana Vavathu, Sahana Vavathu, saha Veeryam Karavavahe. 3 lines. What is the common word that occurs? Saha. So you have heard the YouTube. Saha. Saha means you and me. Unlike in Kerala where I come from, saha means comrade. I'm not wearing red, so it's okay. So, saha means you and I. So, Sahana Vavathu, may you and I be protected. Physically, I think we are very well protected in this hall. But there are other kinds of protection, right? When you sit down to do something serious and learn, you need to be protected from outside influences, physical sound, disturbances from outside. That is the physical part. Lightning, thunder, all protected. Okay. What is the second protection we seek? Mind protection. May my mind be protected from being disturbed. May my mind be protected from going wayward. May my mind be helped to stay steady and not be fickle. This is the other protection. So it's not only enough I am protected, you also have to be protected. We are going to learn this together, and therefore I am going to pretend that I don't know. It's very difficult to say I don't know, mind you. The Upanishad says, he who knows, knows not, and he who knows not, knows. Very difficult to admit, I don't know. We are full of stuff. And if there is full of stuff, there is no space for anything to enter. So anyway, that will come to later. So, Sahana Vavathu, may you and I be protected. Sahana Bhunaktu, may you and I be nourished. Nourishing is physical. We should have enough food, otherwise we can't even sit up and think. May we be nourished, which means proper nourishment. Not too much, or not starving, but enough to maintain our health. May we be, that is physical. There is another nourishment. What? We don't give much attention to that. May my breath be, lungs be nourished. We even don't know how to breathe properly. The lungs is the biggest thing, is the most important thing, to be nourished with fresh air and with proper breathing. So, may my breath, my lungs be nourished by proper breathing. 3, may I be nourished with knowledge that leads to liberation. There are many kinds of knowledge. All are good, no problem. Some are good, some are bad, but there are all kinds of knowledge. So that kind of knowledge that leads me to liberation. When I say liberation, leads me to the understanding of my inner self, and therefore leads me from the conditioned to the unconditioned. What a wonderful thing. I think I'm small and conditioned. Shall I break those conditionings? Learn that I'm part of the infinite. This is the meaning of being nourished spiritually. And for spiritual nourishment, knowledge nourishment is the science of how to go there and what it is all about. Sahana Vavathu, saha Veeryam Karavavahe. May our Veerya, virility, increase, be protected from being dissipated. In the Vedas, you will find, in the Upanishads, Vedas, people go with fuel in hand. What does it mean? To light a stick, Sumvith Pani, to light a stick and take it to the teacher, saying, here I have come offering, teach me the truth. Is it merely carrying firewood? Or does it mean I am saying I have come with the full fuel, I have not wasted it anywhere, my energies are all intact, take me to that route? Why? Because the Veerya, our virility, is usually dissipated in useless acts and useless thoughts, and entertainment is all right, but not 24 hours entertainment. So go with full virility. Don't let your virility be wasted in other things. May I be spiritually virile. That's what it means. You'll see all the Upanishads are messages of strength, not weakness. The Upanishad addresses the human being and says, Amartasya putraha, sons of immortality. Daughters also, of course, understood. Saha Veeryam karama. Tejasvinavaditamastu. May the tejas, the spiritual light, the energy in us, flow in you and me. Not only me, but also you. Ma vidvishavahai. Let's be maybe not fight with each other. Because maybe not argue with each other. Argument is different from a dialogue. A dialogue is when you and I, all these great teachings have been full of dialogue, but not arguments. Argument is when I say I'm right, you say you're right. Now there is no space for understanding. Dialogue is when I and you decide we are going to look into something and find out the truth together. This is a dialogue. So dialogues are welcome, but quarreling is not welcome. I'm right, you're wrong. Everybody is wrong sometimes and right sometimes. Ho sakta hai. So, when all these things come together between student and teacher, sometimes it is student and teacher, then the movement towards the truth takes place. Right. Now, the second sloka which I would like to deal with, taking you towards why Kriya and what for, and why sadhana at all. If you know the truth, is it enough? Theoretically. Second sloka is Poornamada, poornamidam, poornat, poornamaduchyate, poornasya poornamadhaya, poornameva vasishyate. Again from the Upanishad. Poornamada. You don't need to know much Sanskrit to understand many Indian languages. Poornamada. That is full. Purna, complete. What is complete? The Upanishads say that the source from which this entire universe has come, which includes us, is by its very nature complete. Purna. And the whole evolution of life and the process of life is the human being trying to reach that Purna. Quite fine. Why? Because I look and I find I'm incompetent, I find I'm limited, I find that I'm empty, I find that I don't have, so I want to fill it, fulfill, till I become full, or till I think I'm full, which never happens in this world. Even if you're full, you still want to make yourself fuller, which is okay. It's because deep down in our mind, there is this psychological feeling that there is some completeness somewhere. I'm not able to find it. So I try to find it in worldly things. I think I have one car. Maybe if I have two, I will be fulfilled. Or I say, I have an Innova. So if I have a BMW, I will be fulfilled. But then when the BMW comes, the neighbor has a Merc, so I'm not fulfilled. That's a different story. It goes on. There is no end. Then I need a Rolls to be fully satisfied. I'm not saying, I'm just saying how it moves. This feeling deep down to fill yourself up, to become complete, to grow. Today I am a small yogi, I want to become a big yogi. Today I am a student, I want to become a guru. Normally nowadays it's difficult to find students, there are only gurus. But anyway, this wanting to grow stems from this understanding of the mind that actually our origin is somewhere which is complete. Only thing is, in the wrong direction, we try to fulfill ourselves. And it never happens till the end. Till we finally say goodbye. The filling is going on finally till they fill the grave with mud. The fulfillment doesn't happen. I meet everyday people, all kinds of people, powerful people, wealthy people, still trying to become full. Why? Because deep down they know that there is some fullness somewhere and we are not getting it. Where am I? Why? So, this is because of the kind of hidden feeling that Purna is there somewhere. Now the good news that Upanishad says, Poornamidam. Now Poornamada, you say, what is it to me? Maybe Purna, who cares, but I am not. But the Upanishad says, Poornamidam. You are also Purna, provided you understand this theoretically and then try to do what is necessary to get this idea that you are apurna, not complete from your mind, out. Then you are complete. Now this is also a great message. The human organism, the human being, has limitless potential because it is originating from Purna. And it is also Purna by nature. But we condition ourselves. We can't. Especially for the young. I'm very happy to see that in this satsang there are many young people. I'm myself quite tired of seeing people with hair like mine, grey. I mean, there are some people who are practicing the art of dying. That's different. But so anyway, so what did I say just now? Poornamidam. Now, Poornad Poornamaduchyate, from that Purna, which is the original, this Purna has come. But unlike other things, that Purna has not reduced, it is the same. Normally when you take one thing from another, that becomes less and this. That Purna, this Purna has come, but that Purna is always Purna. I had a friend from Germany who tried for some time and gave up. He said, what is this Purna? So, this is Purna. So, Purnameva avashishyate. Even though this Purna is taken from that Purna, Purna always remains. Now the nearest thing you can say, define using material sciences, is Newton's law. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It is always Purna. We are saying it is the same with spiritual energy, can neither be created nor destroyed. This is nice, like a yogi. Shock to nahi lagega na isme. Shock nahi lagega na. Otherwise this will go through Ida and this will go through the finger. So, this understanding So let me give you another example. We yogis believe, hopefully, that when a child is born, right, the creative energy, which is Shakti, Parashakti, which also resides in the bodies of human beings, male or female, enters into the process of reproduction and an entirely new being is created. Right? It's a creative process, of course, physical creation. It's a creative process. An entirely new being is created. Now this energy which has created this being, because it has created a new being, it has not become less, it's not reduced. It's still intact as it is and hides in the Muladhara, at the end of the spine, in the form of Kulakundali, the Devi. Which is to say that Purna, even after creating the physical child, has not diminished in any way, but in full potency is hiding in the Muladhara. And in the process of yoga or Kriya, the idea is to awaken this and make it move upwards. We'll come to that later. I am only trying to say that there is also an example which you can look at. That this energy, after having created a talking, walking, speaking, thinking human being, has not reduced. It's still in full form. You don't see it because you don't know how to look at it, where to find it. Poornamada avashishyate, always it's there as Purna. Right? So, all sadhana is a way of tapping this energy. Now, if this energy was used in a physical way, it gives you a new being altogether, physical, a child. So, if this can be used in the spiritual way, the same energy can create a new being out of you with extraordinary capacities and a peaceful mind, and a mind not easily distracted or disturbed by outward circumstances. Sthita prajna. This is the attempt that a sadhak has to do. It's a good idea to theoretically understand before we move forward. Now, you will see at the end of every chapter of the Gita, there is one sloka written by the great Vyasa. At every chapter ending, whichever chapter, there's a common sloka, which is Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu. This is the Bhagavad Gita. Upanishads. It is the teaching of the Upanishads. Now, some Upanishads are simple, some Upanishads are complicated. Brihadharanyaka Upanishad, for instance, is really a Brihadharanyaka. It's a big forest. You go in and forget how to come out also. Like a maze. However, there are short Upanishads which describe everything in few sentences, which may be even more difficult to understand very often. Now, the Bhagavad Gita has been the Upanishad in its essence simplified so that everything is clear. You can understand without going into too much headaches. And that is the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita. Now, therefore, the Upanishads, the essence of the Upanishad is what the Gita teaches. And what does the Upanishad teach? Brahma Vidyayam. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam. This is the knowledge of the Brahman, of the Supreme Reality, the Purna. That the Upanishad teaches. Vyasa said it's like the concentrated essence of the Upanishad, the Gita. He said if All the cows were Upanishads. Sarvo Upanishato Gavo. Dugdha Gopalanandana, if Krishna was the one who milked the cows. Sudhir Bhokta, and which the wise enjoy that milk. Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat. The Gita is that milk which gives you Amrita. Amrita means what? Deathlessness. Not physically, everybody is not going to become Sri Guru Babaji. But what I mean to say, to understand that one is deathless. Amrit, well, it's also the sweet thing you get in the temple, but Amrit also means Amrita, to realize that there is no death for one. Body dies, but not me. So, Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam. Now there is another sentence out there. Yoga shastre. Before Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, the word is Yoga shastre. So this Yoga shastre, this word is very important, because otherwise you can read the Upanishad, you can read Vedanta, and you can say Aham Brahmasmi. But we are not Brahman. We are so limited in our daily activities. We can say I am the Brahman, but I am not really not. I don't feel I am the Brahman. I can say Tattvamasi, you are that, but really are we that in our daily lives? No. Why? Because Yoga Shastra is necessary to open the mind and free it from limitations, so that it becomes a vehicle or a patra fit enough to get this understanding that I am a spark of the divine. This training is required. Now, yoga need not necessarily mean standing on your head. While Kriya is connected to Ashtanga Yoga in some way, not necessary. Yoga means any attempt made in sadhana in any way to understand and attain that understanding of the Supreme Being in oneself and in others, of course, is called yoga. Right. Now you take the Gita itself. Chapter 1 onwards, every chapter is called a yoga. 18 chapters, they all call yoga. Arjuna Vishada Yoga, starting with Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, goes on till Sannyasa Yoga. So which simply means that yoga is not a word used merely to denote the practice of asanas and pranayam, but much more. And this usually occurs to human beings to understand. Well, there are intelligent people who understand the need of sadhana even without getting into difficulties. But for most people, it's only when life strikes you a hard blow that one begins to think, is there anything beyond this, or is this all there is to it? Which is why the first chapter of the Gita is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The yoga of Arjuna's sorrow. In fact, we are all Arjunas in this case. And we are in the battle of Kurukshetra every day. Unfortunately, Janardhana is not taking us in his chariot. Well, he might be, but we don't want to listen. If he turns back and says, oh, listen, Arjuna, shut up. So, therefore, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. When pain strikes, when problems come, we tend to become spiritual generally, or at least call God, save me. Even though I might be spending my major life saying, what God then? You're in trouble? God is there. Guru Nanak Sahab said it very nicely. He said, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. So this is there. And when it hits, then we want help. Then we even say, temporarily let me invent God. At least. I must get out of this. Or the Supreme Being, whatever. So, now I want to tell you, this is a story about sorrow. And please, don't think that we can all become like this personality I'm going to describe. You may not be. Let's stay to our limits and try to do the best we can. The Kurukshetra battle is over. Not now, I'm talking about those days. Now it's going on. Those days. Kurukshetra battle is over. And Krishna wants to go to Dwarka. He has created the battle, he has joined the Pandavas and won it for them. He has got Ashwatthama and sent him packing. He has done everything. And now he says, oh, the battle is over, I am going to Dwarka. So, he goes to say goodbye to everybody. So, people of his age, he goes and hugs. So he goes to his elders and takes the dust from their feet. Imagine. There is another person like this. Many years ago in the Ramayana, Rama is called Maryada Purushottama. Krishna gives all Maryada. He is considered to be a Purna avatar. When people are elder, he touches their feet. When they are younger, he hugs them. Here, when we already become little big, we think we shouldn't. Can I bow before this fellow? No. How is this possible? So anyway, not me, in general. I'm very happy people don't touch my feet, because after some time there won't be any feet left. So, so he goes and he meets everybody and says goodbye. Then he goes to Kunti. Now Kunti is the matriarch of the family, eldest lady out there. So he goes and takes the dust of her feet and he says, Kunti, I am leaving for Dwarka. Now there is a beautiful lecture by Kunti, interesting to hear, in the Bhagavad. Kunti says, you're going to Dwarka. I may not be using the same words, but to make you understand. He says, can you stop this drama, please? I've seen enough of this drama. I know who you are. I know what you have done. You created the battle. You joined with us. You made us win. And now you're saying, I'm going to Dwarka. You go nowhere, you're everywhere. You're not going anywhere. But Krishna says, but I'm going away to Dwarka. So ask me for a boon, I will grant it for you now. Afterwards, it's difficult to catch me. He says, yeah, now you're saying, give me a boon. Ask for a boon. I know that all this is part of the drama, but I'm going to ask. He wants to even shock Krishna out of us. She says, I have a boon to ask. Bring all the sorrows of the world on my head. Don't ask her, please. One sorrow is difficult to bear. Imagine all the sorrows of the world. Don't think we are all Kuntis. Warning. So, bring all the sorrows of the world on my head. And Krishna is shocked. What? So that when I am in sorrow, I will call you. And the sorrows will keep coming. I will keep calling you. I know for a fact, if I call you, you will appear with your blessed face. This I know. What more do I need? Every day I will see you. Every day there is sorrow. I will say, Krishna, you are there, happy. What more do I want? I don't want anything else. So, therefore, the first chapter of the Gita is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's sorrow. From there it goes on to Sankhya, Karma, so on and so forth. So why did I bring this subject in? Two things. One is yoga, shastre. We need to have a shastra. But then in the Gita, every chapter is a yoga, therefore bhakti is an yoga. Babaji always used to ask, people suddenly appear to come to him in the Himalayas and say, please teach, मुझे क्रिया सिखा दीजिए. क्यों? मोक्ष पाना है. क्या? So you used to ask, अच्छा आप ये बताओ कि मीराबाई ने कौन सा क्रिया किया? Bhakti yoga kiya. Fellow was, that guy whom he asked was so dumbfounded, he didn't answer. I am telling you. Bhakti yoga kiya. Then he used to ask, अच्छा तिरुवन्नामलई में रमण महर्षि ने कौन सा क्रिया किया? कुछ नहीं किया. So it's not that Kriya is essential for moksha. I don't believe that it is a jet plane route to the divine and all that. Misunderstood. Like everything else, all other yama niyamas have to be followed. Practice has to be done regularly. As Patanjali says, Nairantariya Abhyasena, regular practice is essential. And then blessings of the great teachers are essential. Then certainly we'll move forward. It is actually wrong to say that this is a shortcut. There are no shortcuts to salvation. Shortcuts are preached to fool you. There are no shortcuts. Sincerity is necessary, practice is necessary, the way of life you're supposed to lead is required. Unfortunately, some people wrote it as a jet plane route and people are thinking that's very easy. There's no such thing. Of course, it is a systematic, step-by-step way. This I understand. That I understand, because in things like Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, it's not so easy to find out where we are going and how we are going, what is the next step. It's a different thing altogether. You know the Bhakti of Kunti Devi. She would have already reached the truth. But how easy? Is it easy to do that? This is the question. And I also believe that if you don't have devotion, bhakti and bhava, even the practice of Kriya is merely a mechanical act of breathing in and out. Now it can give you satisfaction for some time, but it will not lead you to the truth which you are seeking. And since we are on the subject, as far as Jnana Yoga is concerned, while Jnana Yoga is considered to be intellectual, the Upanishad declares the one who is most intelligent quickly realizes the limitations of his or her intellect and then soars beyond. What we call intellect normally is merely information. And today with Google God, why would you stuff yourself with invitation? A big G hanging, like in the center of the Freemasons hall, there's a big G hanging. Somebody told me it's God, I said no, it's Google. It's omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent today. Almost. Not fully really. So, what is the use of stuffing information when you can put a button and get wrong or right? Huh? Some of the information may be wrong also. But then some of the information we gather also could be wrong. Why? Because we gather information only through the five senses and then the mind processes. This is what we call knowledge. How accurate is that? So, Kriya is one of the ways in which a yogic method by which one discovers the Purna which is in us and which is a spark of that Purna which is there. In fact, there is no there and here, it's all pervading. So, thank you very much. Namaskar.